Greetings again, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTubes. I am Joe Atticus Inch, and welcome to a very special episode of Poet Love. Now, what makes this episode special as compared to all the others? Because, in all honesty, all the episodes are special. Well, this episode is special because we are branching off into a certain section of Poet Love. For me personally, this is Local Poet Showcase. Now, Local Poet Showcase is special to me because I wouldn't be in poetry if it wasn't for the people around me, the poets and the people around me. So that's why it was very important that I include their names into the magic shoebox. And yesterday we drew the very first local poet who are going to be showcased on the show. And someone very special to me. Ladies and gentlemen, your first local poet feature on Poet Love is none other than Barb Fant. About Barb. Barbara grew up in the tough streets of Youngstown, Ohio. It's a war zone out there, apparently, or so I've heard. And she is one of the best poets Columbus has ever produced. I'm going right out and say she is one of the best poets Columbus has ever produced. She's representing Columbus on multiple slam teams. She's represented Columbus at events such as the Women of the World Poetry Slam and the Individual World Poetry Slam. She is a published author on penmanship books. And Barb is not human. I met Barb about the same time that I started doing poetry. She had just started doing poetry around the same time that I started doing poetry. And I always thought it was funny. I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but I remember in like the first couple months of me getting into poetry and she into poetry, always went me Barb or Barb me. I always just think that was funny. What can I say about Barb? Her poetry is has so much emotion to it. It's like she writes about some of the darkest things in life. She brings these things to your attention, and it makes you want to change, is how I will describe Barb's poetry. I cannot just pick one poem. But I do suggest checking out penmanship books and purchasing a copy of Barb's book. The link will be in the credits as always. What can I say about Barb as a person? Barb isn't human. I have never met another woman like Barb who can be so loving and caring and beautiful and smart and generous and funny and write the poetry that she writes. She is one of the most bubbly people I've ever met, and usually that gets on my nerves, but with Barb it works. Because Barb is just a true to God angel. I dare anyone who's met Barb to tell me otherwise. Barb is not human. She is an angel. She is some sort of beautiful reincarnation. And I'm not even going to say the reference to that because I think most people already know what the reference is. At least, Barb has just been such a beautiful light and with me in poetry. And unfortunately, Barb is growing up and she hasn't been able. She is apparently still writing, but she isn't able to make it out to events like she used to. And it's all but at the same time that just makes it more wonderful when Barb is there. It makes everything just feel so much more special. And I think that's all I can say about Barb. Please support Barb. Go get her book on penmanship. And I better draw something before I'm going to cry because I love that woman so much. Back to the shoebox. Check out Barb Fant. She doesn't have a website, but she has a very amazing book that I suggest you go buy. Link in the card. So that's this episode of Poets Love. Tomorrow we are going to... This is going to be tough.